My favorite boxing lores are those that unveil hidden gems that emerge from the most unlikely of places. It's a bit of science. The larger the talent pool, the higher the chances of discovering a special fighter. Yet, every so often, someone defies the odds, rising from a town so deserted it feels like a ghost town. Enter Kelly Pavlik, a fighter born in the heart of Youngstown, Ohio, a former mining hub from the 70s that has since seen better days. Pavlik's journey to greatness was anything but conventional. He clinched the world title under the watchful eye of Jack Lowe, full-time firefighter who traded in his helmet for punching mitts after clocking out. Pavlik's story embodies the spirit of the blue-collar boxer. He is the champion of the working man, a testament of tenacity and spirit. With a long, rugged style that mirrored his upbringing, he wielded a cane in his right hand, powered by the diesel engine of hard work and perseverance. His ascent to the pinnacle of boxing culminated in capturing the Lineal middleweight title, proving that greatness can indeed emerge from the most overlooked corners of the world. Pavlik is not just a fighter, he's a beacon of hope for anyone who dares dream beyond their humble beginnings. Pavlik's early career was marked by a blend of hard work, determination, and a steady rise through the ranks of professional boxing. After turning pro in 2000 at the age of 23, Pavlik quickly made a name for himself in the middleweight division. Initially, he fought in smaller venues, honing his skills and building his reputation. His early bouts showcased his raw power and rugged fighting style, which were hallmarks of his blue-collar upbringing in Youngstown, Ohio. Jack Lowe was slowly carving his technique and discipline. As he racked up victories, Pavlik began to attract attention for his knockout power, particularly his devastating right hand. He soon started to secure a few notable wins against tough veterans. The victories helped him gain momentum and position him as a rising contender in the middleweight ranks. Pavlik had soon built himself a solid record of 30-0 with 27 knockouts and was eager to prove himself against a more established opponent. Then came his opportunity in a WBC Middleweight Title Eliminator. He was set to face the feared Colombian Edison Miranda, a ferocious puncher of the division, amassing a record of 28-1 and 24 knockouts. At the time, Miranda was coming off a victory against the undefeated Alan Green, and his sole defeat had been to future world champion King Arthur Abraham, a match notable for Miranda's breaking his opponent's jaw. As the fight approached, the emerging star Kelly Pavlik found himself cast a slight underdog amid the swirling excitement surrounding Edison Miranda. The war was reminiscent of two mighty battleships anchored side by side, exchanging cannon fire, till one was ultimately sent to the depths. The first 3 rounds were competitive, but from that point forward, Pavlik's power took over, crumbling the Colombian in the 7th round. This decisive victory not only highlighted Pavlik's punching power, but also his impressive resilience, paving a way for one of the most significant fights of his career. Jermaine Taylor had established himself as one of the premier middleweights in boxing. He gained prominence after winning a closely contested bout against Bernard Hopkins, capturing the WBC, WBO, and Lineal middleweight titles, ending his 10-year middleweight reign, even beating him in a rematch to show the first fight wasn't a fluke. Taylor successfully defended his titles multiple times, showcasing his dominance over the division. He was known as Bad Intentions for his quick hands and explosive power. By the time he entered the ring against Pavlik, Taylor was considered a seasoned champion with a record of 27 wins, 0 losses, 17 knockouts, and 1 no contest in a closely contested fight against future Hall of Famer Winky Wright. Jermaine Taylor was a boxer puncher, celebrated for his lightning-fast hands, explosiveness, and strategic mindset. He epitomized the archetype of an athlete who leveraged his natural gifts and keen ring intelligence to strike opponents down, outsmarting them with calculated precision. While Taylor had a more measured punch output of the two, he was selective in his punches, sometimes too patient, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. However, lingering doubts surround his heart and desire. After high-profile bouts with legends like Bernard Hopkins and Winky Wright, he opted for matchups against fighters like Spinks and Umar, who didn't truly belong in a middleweight conversation. Though he possessed a mediocre defense, he had the ability to counter effectively. The question remained, could he summon the grit needed to rise to the occasion against a puncher like Pavlik? In stark contrast, Pavlik embodied the archetype of the quintessential slugger, defined by his ruthless forward aggression and unyielding determination. With devastating knockout power in both hands, he wielded a punishing right hand that could fold opponents, and a sharp left hook that sliced through defenses. His strong jab served as a spearhead of his offense, setting the tone for his engagements. While his defensive style was rather conventional, Pavlik showcased remarkable resilience, able to absorb heavy shots from a big puncher like Miranda, while trading in fierce exchanges of his own. Though he was flat-footed, he needed to plant himself firmly to garner full leverage in his power. Once he found his rhythm, his punch output soared, turning him into a butcher of the ring. This dynamic set the stage for a captivating narrative, where Taylor would need to harness his speed and tactical acumen to dictate the pace of the bout, while Pavlik sought to bridge the gap and dismantle the champion piece by piece. The anticipation reached a fever pitch as two undefeated fighters in a prime prepared to collide in the ring. Adding an intriguing layer to the matchup was the fact that Taylor had previously stopped Pavlik 7 years prior at the Olympic trials, a memory that loomed large over the impending showdown. This history only intensified the stakes, as both fighters were not only battling for supremacy, but also for redemption and glory. It was showtime on the night of September 29, 2007 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. A spirited crowd of around 6,200 proud Youngstown natives filled the arena, rallying behind the beloved hometown hero. It was a momentous occasion, marking the first title fight for the #1 contender. Taylor, the 2-1 favorite, entered the ring with an impressive record of 4-0-1 in title bouts, ready to seize his throne. From the opening bell, Taylor jumped out early, setting a blistering pace, giving the contender no time to settle in. His game plan to neutralize Pavlik's aggression started by showcasing his quick counters. Whether they landed or not, this created an initial threat for Pavlik. Utilizing his speed, Taylor timed his jab, either firing alongside Pavlik's jab or right after. This stifled the puncher from following up.
Now he needs to focus on stopping.
By engaging in exchanges with Pavlik, Taylor boldly postured his firepower, making it clear that his punching power was not to be underestimated.
Respect and keep his hands up, because this is where more on defense and not get hit by these.
You're going to ask them to box. Both guys want to.
Pavlik aimed to assert his jab and illustrate the dangers of engaging in a firefight against a seasoned puncher.
Another one by Pavlik.
He used his jab to manipulate Taylor's head movement, aligning him with the straight cross.
Good combination by Pavlik.
When Taylor slipped to the outside, Pavlik shot a straight cross straight down the line with pinpoint accuracy. The second round kicks off with both fighters eager to establish their jabs.
At a big round, landing 43 of 89. Taylor 26. Harold Letterman agrees with Emmanuel Stewart. Go back to trading in the center of the ring.
Taylor finds his timing for countering early on.
Hard right hand by Taylor.
Pavlik has shown great poise.
Pavlik appears flat, but still manages to use his jab to set up another solid cross. However, as he presses forward, he falls asleep at the wheel, walking straight into Taylor's swift 1-2 that rattles him.
And this is the punch that really hurt Pavlik. He had his hands down, and
with Pavlik stunned, Taylor unloads a flurry of punches, earning the first knockdown of the fight.
of punches that caught him still
Goes down.
That is it.
That was a tremendous barrage from Jermaine Taylor. Taylor's last six fight.
That was a right hand started.
Taylor unloads his arsenal of punches, but Pavlik, displaying remarkable resilience, weathers the onslaught and survives the round on his feet.
That means real business.
Stoppage referee. Steve
When Pavlik has, he's still hanging on.
what he went through, or survived what he went through. Another big uppercut from Taylor. And now Kelly.
You're right. Yeah? Is that okay? Let me see. How you doing, baby? You back with us? Yeah. I'm good. Okay.
After managing to survive the round, Pavlik's lid was steady despite the initial knockdown. The contender showed no signs of fear as he confidently stepped back into the pocket, now putting his punches together. Taylor, who had burst out of the gates in the first round and seemingly expended his gas in an attempt to finish Pavlik, now appeared flat. He stood directly in front of Pavlik, who seized the opportunity to deliver his payback in the third.
And here's Pavlik catching Jermaine with a body shot, slowed him down and surprised him for a moment.
He lands a big combination.
Taylor, having taken most of the round off, dug deep and mustered the last of his strength to rally back just before the bell rang.
Give him a lot of punches in there.
Gentlemen, we have a fight.
Down Kelly Pavlik after having been knocked down and almost out in the second.
The fourth emerged as a turning point for the bout, with Pavlik asserting his dominance and driving Taylor onto the defensive, forcing the champion to fight off his back foot. With each thrust of his long jab, Pavlik bullied Taylor into the corner, setting the stage for his devastating power punches to hammer the champion. The tide had turned, and Pavlik was in command.
2 steps backwards and not even putting him back on the ropes. He should be taking a...
Pavlik made a strategic adjustment to neutralize Taylor's jab. He fought long and used his backhand to catch Taylor's jab.
Get enough oxygen. Now you have to open your mouth to breathe.
Took by Taylor at the end of that combination.
This effectively disarmed the champion's ranged weapons. When Taylor threw his combinations, Pavlik would catch a pivot, nullifying Taylor's offense to stay in control of the fight.
That's really dangerous.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it on the scorecard?
It's 4 rounds to 2, 57.
Daniels back, double jab of his own. Body shot.
With the realization that he was trailing on the scorecards, and with only the second round where he scored a knockdown working in his favor, Taylor resolved to stand his ground and confront the puncher head on. As the two fighters locked horns, it was quickly evident that it was only a matter of time before Taylor found himself being outgunned in exchanges.
Pavlik gets in
A relative calm after the storm of the first 3 rounds.
Operating behind the spear jab, Pavlik had fully taken command of the fight. He effectively stifled Taylor's offense, rendering his wild shots ineffective. Like a seasoned butcher methodically breaking down his prey, Pavlik dismantled Taylor's defense piece by piece. With no solution, Taylor eventually succumbed to the punishment.
Good 1-2 upstairs by Taylor. Immediately following, another right hand by
Taylor said,
This is the punch that hurt him.
Pavlik is much.
And here's the end, where the referee stopped.
inside Lennox. Both hands.
That hurt him. It buckled him a little bit. Then a right.
Pavlik went on to defend his middleweight title 3 more times. His only 2 losses came against a future Hall of Famer, Bernard Hopkins, at a 170 catchweight. And his sole middleweight defeat was to Sergio Martinez. Pavlik will be remembered as one of the greatest middleweight punchers of his time, and a Youngstown legend, second only to Ray Boom Boom Mancini.